Minutes after 5 o'clock, it is Sport Talk, WGOW on a Wednesday. Coming up in 1 hour, Ken Meredith in the house with our Truck and Trailers USA Racing Hour. How about that?
He better be good because I'm bored today. Kansas race, I can't.
We got all kinds of stuff to talk about in the
going to
racing
board.
world. Travis Pastrana news, too. I know we've talked about him a bunch, but we'll get to all that in an hour. We got a special guest in here, Thomas Brown. He's a former Georgia Bulldog, current Chattanooga Mocs running backs coach.
Somebody that's actually done some things.
Yes.
Done a few things, I think.
Good to have you on Sport Talk, Thomas.
I'm glad to be here. I appreciate it.
Man, you're looking good, fit. We always heard about your legendary weight room work ethic, and it shows.
I don't know if it's legendary, but I definitely try to work myself out in the weight room and try to stay in shape.
Legendary.
I don't know about that now. I don't know about that.
Now, you come on this show on the heels of Terrell and Jacob.
I know.
And before that, it was Healy and Sat.
I know. I have to step it up. I'm gonna take up to the challenge. Though. I'm good.
Oh, I'm
a competitor. I'm good.
I can see that.
Let's hit our 3 and out in the 5 o'clock hour. And it starts with Wes Welker, the New England Patriots wide receiver, talking about his contract situation.
Right now, I'm just kind of in a wait-and-see position and kind of see, where things are headed. But I just feel like my body of work over the past 5 years, it hadn't been any sort of like one-hit wonder or anything else. I think it's deserving of a long-term contract. And hopefully, we come to that point and make something happen.
He knows how to get open.
It's Brady's guy.
Yeah, that really is. Also, Dandy Dalton, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, talking about how his plan of being a leader in 2012.
I feel like I've established myself. I, came in and, started all 16 games in a playoff game. So, they know what I do. They know how I work. So it's not trying to win the guys over anymore. It's, kind of taking more of the leadership role. And I think that's what I'll be doing this year.
2 picks in the first round Cincinnati's got.
Yeah, they better they need to get somebody. The guy that did the flip, made all the highlights. He signed with somebody else, so he's out.
That's true.
As far as a wide receiver target for him.
They still have A.J. Green, though.
They do have A.J. Green, your man. We're going to get you to talk about him in just a little bit, but certainly Dalton, I believe, is a consistent, solid quarterback, and that's something Cincinnati's been looking for.
I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler, especially when Banning and Brady, they're out of the picture. I think he's going to be right up there.
They'll make the folks forget about Carson Palmer totally, I think.
You're talking about a team that could trade up now.
Yeah.
Those 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And finally, from Braves.com, one of the, I thought, just priceless moments last night, Chipper Jones' home run where basically we all know the story. He's retiring. He only plays about 1 out of every 3 games. And, boy, he comes to play when that game, when those lights turn on and that stadium's full of people.
Yeah, if he's going to keep doing this, stay around 2 or 3 more years. I mean, that's fine with me.
And, man, they could not afford to lose to those pathetic Dodgers. That is the worst 14-4 team I have ever seen in my life. And I'm a Dodger fan.
Come on, Doc.
They dink it. They can't. They got Kemp and they got Kershaw, and that is it.
They're doing pretty good.
When you look at the leaders on RBI, home runs, it's all Matt Kemp. So you're kind of right on that.
He's tearing it up.
And again, I'm going to tell y'all why pitch to him. There is nobody behind them to protect him. Just point to first and tell him to go.
Well, they'll play the rubber game tonight, and we'll see if Beachy pitches to him 2-1 versus Ted Lilly. Here's a call from Chipper Jones' home run last night.
Well, maybe she'll bring him some luck here leading off. First pitch, swing and a drive, deep right. She did. It's gone. Happy birthday indeed for Chipper Jones. It's 2-1.
Now, Thomas, you're an Atlanta guy, so you grew up watching sports overall,
Correct.
all of them, or just mainly football?
Well,
what's your background?
Well, I didn't grow up in a sports family. My dad.
Really?
My dad was a pastor growing up. He's a bishop now. Mm-hmm. My mom was a school teacher. Nobody else in my family plays sports. So
You're kidding.
I'll be honest. Nobody else plays
rare,
sports.
and you know
It's
that.
the truth. Yeah, absolutely. So I really didn't catch on to sports until maybe I was 8 or 9 years old. I played football and baseball until the 9th grade. Until I realized I couldn't hit a curveball, so I decided to
hey man, join the club
to put my services to better use and join the track team. But from about 8 years on, I was a huge sports fan and I obviously just kind of dove into it and still riding that wave now.
There you go, Tucker High School graduate. What year?
2004.
04. There you go.
2004.
Coming right back, more with Thomas Brown, Chattanooga Mocs running backs coach and former Georgia Bulldog, former Atlanta Falcon too, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's a mock day and a Bulldog day.
That's
I
right.
hate to say it, but it's a Bulldog day too, Tom.
Hey, I love it. I'm glad to be here.
All y'all concrete Bulldog people,
Call in.
all in.
It's Sport Talk, and look at your right now traffic with Sean Paul coming up during the break on the Talk Monster 102.3. .519, it is Sport Talk, WGOW. Quake, Cowboy Joe with you. And we've got Thomas Brown, former Georgia Bulldog, current Chattanooga Mocs running backs coach, and just hanging out with us first. We're going to get to SEC football, and we're going to get to West and Country Bulldog, too. But first, just your overall thoughts. You're about, 2 months maybe on the job here in Chattanooga?
Correct.
Just thoughts about Coach Huseman, the football program overall? I mean, you've been around big-time SEC football.
Right. Well, I mean, I love it so far. I'm extremely excited about the opportunity. Obviously, it's my first running backs coaching job position. I was hired last year as a strength coach.
You were
under Mark Rick.
A strength coach?
A strength coach last year. So, I worked in the weight room, and obviously through NCAA rules, there's only so much I can do on the field at Georgia. But I just try to be around the game as much as possible and learn and soak up knowledge from those coaches. But I'm having a great time here. Coach Huseman is a great coach, and I'm definitely thankful for the opportunity. I think we have a great staff all around and definitely have some talented football players. So I'm excited and ready to get going.
What about the running backs overall? You like the crew?
Absolutely.
Overall?
I'm big on competition. One of the biggest things with me is, I came into Georgia. I was pretty highly recruited out of high school. I came in, I'm 8 on the depth chart of 8 running backs on scholarship. And, I was always been a fighter. I always believe in putting competition on guys and bringing the best out of them. And we definitely have a good group of guys who can play, all different skill sets. So I'm going to definitely push them and see who rises to the top.
You believe in being physical. No
question. I don't think you can play the running back position without being physical.
You got so many different styles too with the Mocs running backs that it's kind of interesting, how to get the right one in the game and know the situation for him or whatever. Green was so quick last year to the edge, to the corner, he could get there. And then you have other guys that are not as quick but more powerful. So it's going to be fun this year. And
I tell the guys all the time, I'm going to play the best guys. Period. We have 5 running backs on the scholarship right now to be 6 with tolerance coming in this summer. Ideally, I would like to play the top 2 guys primarily most of the time, let them get in a rhythm and kind of break down defenses. I don't care if you're a freshman or a senior, you're 5'7", you're 6'2". If you can play, I'm going to put you in the game. If you're going to help us win, I want you. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about it. We definitely have enough talent to get the job done, so we'll just get rolling. And my job is getting ready.
There you go. Tolerance. Shepherd, he was from?
Fairview High School.
In Georgia?
Correct.
South Georgia. There you go. So he knew who you were.
Absolutely. That's my guy.
Absolutely. There you
so
go.
obviously you're going to recruit a little in Georgia, aren't you?
No question. Metro Atlanta, that's going to be my area. I'm going to lock it down.
We're going to have a Tucker pipeline up to
I hope so.
That'd be nice.
That'd be like me playing for Dion. I mean, I'm sure that's what it was for him.
There you go. 267-1023 Wes. Welcome to Sport Talk and Talk Radio. Wes, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Well, I'm glad Coach Brown's in there. How come, Ingram, he fell way down there, and Trent Richardson, I mean, everybody's wanting him. Was he better back, or?
In my personal opinion, I think both of them are great running backs. If I had the choice, I would choose Trent Richardson because I believe he brings everything to the table. He's a great runner, a very explosive, powerful guy, blocks well.
A little bit more shiftiness than
Ingram.
He does.
He can make you miss, and he has long speed.
And out of the backfield.
But I would take either one of them. They're both great backs.
You think Minnesota's going to drop down and take somebody else and let somebody get Trent?
I mean, I would drop down because obviously Adrian Peterson's the best running back in the game. He's extremely durable, and I don't want to take him out of the game for anybody, even though I think Trent Richardson is a great running back. AP is dominating the league and will for a long time to come, in my opinion.
Especially when they need so many other pieces.
Right,
I know it'll never happen. How'd you like to have both of them?
I would be.
Well, yeah, but the only bad thing about he's bad to drop the ball, Coach Brown.
Who's that?
Richardson. I mean, not Richardson, but Peterson.
Well, yeah, he has had a fumbling problem, but his play on the field, in my opinion, makes up for his fumbling problem. Like, I would never encourage a guy to fumble that much, but if you can produce like he produces, I think I'd be okay with it.
Wes, we appreciate it, man.
Thank you, my friend.
What's your, as a coach, and Country Bulldog, we're coming right to you, but what's your philosophy as a coach? It's always interesting to me to get people are from different walks of life are successful in doing it different ways. Right. As a coach, running backs coach, when a guy lays the ball on the ground a couple times, maybe twice in one game or maybe twice in back-to-back games, are you harping on them or are you not mentioning it at all? Do you want them to think about it and concentrate, or do you want to not have it in the back of their head? How do you approach that?
And if you get that reputation, is it mental?
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to talk about it. Every day in practice I harp on ball security, and obviously if you can't take care of the ball, I can't put you in the game. That's the quickest way to lose a game is by having turnovers. But from my personal experience,
what about a game
as a
day
running back
talk? I mean, would you mention it on game day?
I wouldn't focus on it too much. I don't want you thinking about it.
Right.
I feel like too often if you think about negative things will happen. Like if I constantly think about don't drop the ball, I'll probably drop the ball because I'm focusing on not dropping the ball versus hold on to it. So I try to be give more positive reinforcement to guys. But most times it is mental. You have a fumble or two, and you constantly start thinking about it. So I would just try to be more positive and get guys just get back to thinking about the game.
And you wonder how that works because you remember Arian Foster. I mean, he used to drop that ball almost every play
in
at
a crucial
Tennessee.
situation.
But
too.
with Houston, I mean, he hardly does that. Right. So I wonder what clicked in his mind, or if it's just one of those things that just happened at Tennessee.
I think it just got his confidence back. Like I said earlier, I mean, if you fumble a lot of have negative plays, and you focus on it too much, it's going to continue to happen. Because usually whatever you focus your energy on is going to come out into your life.
So you think that's totally mental?
Not totally mental.
But a good percentage of it?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Just from personal experience.
Mm-hmm. 267-1023, we've got Country Bulldog. Welcome to Sport Talk and Talk Radio, sir.
Hey, guys. How we doing today?
Good.
Okay.
Good. It's good to call in there with some class in the booth.
Absolutely.
Finally some classes coming to Sport Talk.
Hey, I just want to say, Thomas, we're so glad that you're in Chattanooga, man, and looking forward to big things, and can't wait to get down to the games and see you. And, hey, I just wanted to ask, one of the most exciting Saturday afternoons I ever spent was in Sanford Stadium on the blackout game against Auburn.
I was just talking about that earlier.
Yeah, he was talking to the break and how excited the team was.
What's your memories of that game? Because I've never been in a stadium that was so electric.
Me either. The crazy thing about it was, before the season started, Coach Rick came to our senior class and told us at some point he's going to allow us to wear the black jerseys in the Auburn game or the Florida game, and nobody else on the team knew but the senior class. So to come out and warm up in the red jerseys, nobody else knowing what's going on, and come back into the locker room and the way we set it up, usually we come back in the locker room before the game starts, turn out the lights, get together, pray, do a little chant, a little ritual, and get together and turn the lights back on. So we went in, turned the lights off, went in and prayed. When the lights came back on, everybody had black jerseys, laid out.
Oh, that's
the atmosphere
awesome.
was amazing. It was crazy.
Nice.
It was a night game, too, wasn't it?
No question. When we came out of that tunnel, it didn't matter who we were playing. We would have beat anybody tonight.
Man, you could feel it throughout the whole place. So hopefully maybe we'll have a blackout at a UTC game.
Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Y'all have a good day.
All right, you too.
Thank you, Bulldog. We were talking about it during the commercial break because I was saying that somebody I came across today mentioned about how horrible the jerseys were last year, the opening game against Boise, and, oh, my God, they need to burn those. And I said, well, if they'd have won that game, you'd probably own one and be wearing it on Saturdays. And you mentioned that how much players nowadays, and I think sometimes the old-school fans say, gosh, surely that doesn't matter. But it does to players.
No, I love Georgia through and through, and I love having the silver britches. But as a player, sometimes I think we have great colors, and I would love to wear different uniforms. Come out like an Oregon at times. It's a quick way to add excitement to your players. And I'm not superstitious at all. I think it doesn't matter if you prepare well, you have the best players, you show up ready to play, you'll win the game. You at least have a good chance of winning the game. So I don't. Go ahead.
Finally, some credence to my point I've been making for years.
I hate
Thank you,
to say
Tom.
this because I'm the opposite, but recruits love it too, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question. I almost took a visit to Oregon come out of high school just because of the uniform.
No.
Thank you.
That's the only reason I was going to go to Oregon.
Those things
They were going to get me on the West Coast just because of the uniform.
And you had like a new uniform every game, right?
Every game. Yeah. I would love that.
I can't have
My man. See?
Finally.
I'm glad you came in.
Maybe that's the new school in me, though. I don't know.
No, I'm just an old
267-1023. A quick break, and we'll come back. More with Thomas Brown. He's the Chattanooga Mocs running backs coach and, of course, former Georgia Bulldog. Your time with Atlanta, how many years with the Falcons?
I was in Atlanta for 2 years, got
seasons?
released in my second season, and ended up in Cleveland, which I don't know if anybody's from Cleveland, Ohio.
Been there.
You're gonna say I'm sorry.
I'm a Steeler fan, so I know what you're saying.
It's rough,
It's
man.
beyond the armpit of the world.
It is rough. I think it was six months in a row where the sun didn't come out. It snowed almost every day. Then the team is losing. I was thankful for the opportunity, but, man, that was a rough place to
told
live.
somebody one day I was there, it's always cloudy.
It is.
It may not rain, but it's cloudy.
It's cloudy.
Every day.
Yeah, the sun doesn't come out at all.
Every day. It's tough.
Quick break. We'll come back, and MC G-Dog going to talk to his man here, Thomas Brown, former Georgia Bulldog.
I think it's safe to say that we have thrown these people a bone today. I want you people, don't get used to it, people. Don't get used to it.
You're going to be a Georgia fan before I leave, I promise.
It's Talk Radio 102.3 Sport Talk. And Sean Paul right now, traffic on the way. It's hang tight, WGW. .534, it's Sport Talk, WGW. Doc Quake, Cowboy Joe, Thomas Brown, a former Georgia Bulldog, current Chattanooga Mocs running backs coach, in the booth with us, and we appreciate your time this afternoon, Tom.
Glad to be here.
It's good to have you.
Not to be confused with Bryce Brown.
No, because he actually had carries and success.
Right.
Just a little bit.
Real quick, and we're coming to MCG Dog, but your thought on a college football playoff? It seems like there's some of this stuff on the horizon. As a Bulldog class of 2007, you guys kind of got hosed as far as having a chance at playing for that game. So I know you probably have you want a playoff, don't you?
Well, I mean, with that thought in mind, obviously, back in 2007, I think we were number 3 in the country, number 1 and 2 loss, and somehow we dropped to 5 and ended up having to go play. We're not having to. We got to go play Boise. I mean, not Boise, but Hawaii in the Sugar Bowl, and that wasn't much of a contest. But, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what the solution is? We could have a playoff, and there would be just different problems that would go along with that. Obviously, I'm an SEC guy and SEC bias, so I think we would still dominate regardless.
Of course.
And I challenge anybody to that. But who knows what's going to happen?
The thing that I don't want to see, that I would like to see eliminated is one loss and you're out of it.
Right.
I don't like that.
I agree.
A great team. Y'all were, look at Georgia last year. They were as good as anybody toward the end.
No question.
Come on, but you don't have a chance.
You don't.
You're not going to play for it.
Especially if you lose late.
Yeah.
Who was that one loss?
We've lost to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Got beat by
That was on his wedding day.
But you look at the Mocs. You look at the Mocs this year. All right, you strive to win the conference. No question about that. But if you don't, you still got a shot.
Absolutely.
If you get in that playoffs and you know what kind of team you got, anything happens.
You can change everything in that
Anything
moment.
happens.
Of course.
Well, look at this last year. I mean, you had Stanford, Oklahoma State, USC. There was a bunch of really good teams that I would have loved to see in a 14 playoff or 18 playoff, whatever
16.
it is. That would have been exciting as anything.
It'd make December a whole different world in sports. It really would. All right, Thomas Brown, our special guest, MCG Dog. Welcome to the Talk Monster in Sport Talk.
Well, hey, guys, and Coach Brown is a Georgia alum and a Georgia season ticket holder. I just want to say thank you for 4 wonderful years you had there in Athens. And I tell you, I'm all for a playoff, and I use 07 as one of those examples. That Georgia team at the end of the season, heck, we could have gone head-to-head with anybody, and I'd have liked our chances. Also, as a UTC season ticket holder,
good boy.
I look forward to seeing you and the team this year, and hopefully we can continue to build on the success we've had. I want to give you a little UTC Georgia connection.
Okay.
The most famous UTC head football coach arguably was Scrappy Moore,
okay,
who was there for, Doc can tell us the years better, but 3 or 4 decades he coached there.
I can't.
And he was he played football at Georgia and was a Georgia graduate himself.
Really? I didn't know that.
So we have a little history there. If I'm
Back
not mistaken.
1912, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to add to that history then.
My question for you, as a fan, I've always kind of grown frustrated with the way we do things in Athens, handling our backs, and not just giving one guy, as you mentioned earlier, letting him get in the flow, giving him the majority of the carries. It's always felt like a lot of guys, particularly your elite backs, get better as the game goes on and as they get those carries. Now, granted, you were on a team that had, I believe, 4 future NFL backs, myself, Greg Lumpkin, and Ware, and Doshong. So I can understand having to spread it around, but I've always felt that, you can get more success out of giving one guy the majority of the carries. As Herschel Walker said, and they asked him one time after he had 35 carries, they said if it made him tired, he said, no, that ball ain't heavy. So,
absolutely.
I've always felt that works better. But I'd love to know your opinion on that.
I agree with you 100%. Obviously, I've been around some very talented running backs and played with Noshawn, who's still in the league, and Craig and Danny, who are both still in the league. And even before those guys, when I got there, Michael Cooper, Tyson Browning, highly recruited guys out of the state of Georgia. And, we hated the running back by committee. We went to the coaches one time and said, listen, just pick a guy, whoever it is, and let him play. Give him the ball 20, 25 times a game. Because a lot of times in the media, people were complaining about Georgia doesn't have a 1,000-yard running back. We don't have a 1,000-yard rusher. You're not going to run for 1,000 yards, especially in the SEC, without getting at least 190 to 200-some carries. I think the most I ever got was 174 my freshman year, and I had, I think right at 900 yards. So I definitely believe in, one or two guys, mainly one guy, toting the load, as long as he can handle that. The only reason I would go to running back by committee is if I just had, a bunch of average guys. I needed more production. But if I had one or two elite guys that were better than the rest of my guys, I'm going to play them.
Are we coming dangerously close to that great running back with 25 carries being extinct?
It seems
because of offenses. That's what I'm coming to. It's a quarterback dominated game now.
Right.
Receivers and spreads and.
Well, I think it does change the game a little bit, and obviously, I don't think the running back position is more important than the quarterback position because that guy touches the ball every single game. And obviously, if you look at championship caliber teams, most of them have a great quarterback, especially when you get into National Football League. That's a different story.
Put Trent Richardson 25 years ago into a backfield or 20, and how many would he have got it?
He got it 40 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
As many as Emmitt Smith.
And they'd have probably won a national title,
no
too.
No question, because who's going to stop it? Nobody's going to stop it. He's going to run the score up, and he's going to control the clock, and he's going to wear your defense down. So I definitely believe in when you have an elite back like that, which he's going to be a different scenario. Obviously, he's going to let him tote the rock wherever.
He's that good.
He is that good. I love him to death. I love Mark Ingram, and I think Trent is better than he is, and I think he probably would have started over him at Alabama had he not had all that early on attention. And obviously, after you win the Heisman Trophy, you're not going to bench him for the backup. But I think they're both talented backs, but I love Trent.
Good stuff.
What else, G-Dog?
Well, the final question would be is, we heard from Coach Healy and some others last week, and you say the quarterback's not more important than the running back, but we hear the running backs tend to dominate the quarterback, particularly with the last name Healy on the basketball court. You care to comment?
He says Coach Healy can play with the guys on the court in basketball.
He can. He's a very talented basketball player.
I heard he couldn't get off a shot against you.
That's why I foul him so much. No question. I'm not crazy. I didn't grow up playing basketball. I'm extremely athletic, and obviously I can make my way around a basketball court because I'm athletic. But he can definitely shoot your lights out. That's why every time he goes up for a jump shot, I hit him in his elbow.
There you go.
Is he a little slow though?
He's not slow. He's very quick. Not quicker than me, but he can move. He can move.
G-Dog, we appreciate it. Your thoughts, A.J. Green, obviously a teammate, I guess, for a year or so, right?
No, I never played with A.J.
So he came in the year after you left.
Right.
But you had to have seen some great things that he highlights during the game, obviously, but practice, things like that.
One of the best college running backs. College receivers I've ever seen. He's extremely
the minute he stepped on the field.
No question. It was very clear that he was the best player on the field. And, he's extremely polished, extremely competitive, works his butt off. Every day after practice, he's staying late, doing extra drills. Hands are incredible. But, he's a great kid overall, even off the field. He's very humble, very down to earth. But definitely when he crosses that line and steps into the field, he becomes a different animal, and I love him to death.
I bet he was a beast in the basketball court, too.
No, of course. I hear that. I never played against him. I probably would have fouled him, too.
Can you imagine his jumping?
Yeah. He would have jumped on me out of tackle.
In other words, we got a friendly game, and you're on top of Healy and fouling him?
No question. I'm a competitor. I hate to lose. I like winning. Winning is fun, but I hate losing with a passion.
So the drive is to not lose more than it is to win.
No question.
Can he get a shot off against you?
He can.
He can.
It's going to be tough, but he could.
Little white guy got a shot off on you, but not
he
many.
He can shoot. He can shoot. I give him that, but I'm going to foul him.
There you go. Make him earn it, baby.
No question.
He didn't say anything about the fouling, but he did say you guarded him tight.
Yeah, I'll say it for him. Maybe he didn't want to put me out there like that, but I'm fine with that. I'll foul you. I'm a competitive guy. I'm a football player first. If I played basketball, I'd probably foul it every game. I'll be honest.
The enforcer. I like it. Speaking of competition, your senior year, we talked about the blackout against Auburn, but the other kind of highlight of that year was the game against Florida and the celebration where everybody runs out to the end zone. Right. How did that go down? I mean, was that predetermined that was going to happen, or was that a senior captain's type thing, or what? Give me the story on that.
It definitely wasn't a captain's thing. I think Coach Rick wanted to provide some excitement, and what he told the offense that was on the field, the 11 guys that were on the field, once we scored the first touchdown, run onto the field, celebrate, get a penalty. Now, obviously,
so he said that.
He did.
Okay.
Somewhere, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but maybe somewhere along the way,
statute of limitations is up.
There you go.
We got it screwed up on the sideline, and everybody else wanted to run out there on the field and celebrate and get a penalty. And obviously, it was a very exciting moment. I was surprised, when I saw it on the sideline. I was hurt that game, didn't get a chance to play, but the original command was just for the offense that was on the field, those 11 guys. Once we scored, get a celebration penalty, try to get some excitement going, and
love it.
But I was happy regardless. Though
it worked.
Wish I could have been part of it. No question. I love beating Florida.
And you were hurt in which game?
Actually, I broke my collarbone in the Ole Miss game. Didn't realize it until halftime of the Tennessee game, and obviously they pulled me out then, which I was kind of upset about because the worst of the damage was done. I played with the fractured collarbone.
How'd you not realize that? Because I did that in my childhood, and I knew it right away.
Well, I knew something was wrong.
You're probably a little tougher than me. I
get that. You didn't say nothing.
I dove into the end zone, and my shoulder went numb. So I realized something obviously was wrong. And Matthew Stafford came over to try to help me up, and I told him, don't touch me because something's wrong. And I got up, went to the sideline, got it checked out. I'm not really big with trainers. I don't hang around them long, so I just told them, tape it up, do what you got to do, and I'm going to go back in the game. I knew something was wrong. I got it iced all week, but I never got it x-rayed until the next game. We actually played Tennessee, and we were getting smashed by them at that time, which wasn't fun at all. But that's when I found that it was broken.
Was that game in Knoxville?
It was in
Knoxville.
Knoxville.
Was, yeah. Stafford. That guy's, to me, on video, to me, the strongest arm I've ever seen.
No question. It's unbelievable. Which I think
early
on,
he'd knock you down with it if you don't catch it.
He would. If he wanted to, he could. I think early on in his career, especially his freshman year when he threw so many interceptions, because he relied on his arm too much, and he would just air it out there no matter what and try to put it in any space. But he's definitely one of the most talented quarterbacks I've been around. He can make any throw out there. He's amazing.
Quick break. We'll come back. More with Thomas Brown. He's Chattanooga Mocs running backs coach.
Quick before we hit that break, now I know you mentioned Oregon. They almost swayed you because of the uniforms.
Here we go.
What other schools were you looking at before you picked Georgia?
So here's the thing. I grew up a huge Florida State and Miami fan. To be honest, I didn't watch a Georgia football game until my senior year in high school. Did not know what Athens, Georgia was. I wanted to go to Florida State. I said it when I was like 10 years old. I'm going to Florida State.
Here you go. You didn't have parents barking around, all that stuff.
I didn't. My parents were big into academics. That's all they really cared about. They supported me playing football, but outside that, they really didn't care. Florida State and Miami were on TV a lot. Obviously, they had a lot of great running backs, and I played running back. Warwick Dunn went to Florida State. I was always an undersized back, and people told me I was too small to play, so I was like, I'm going to go to Florida State and prove them wrong. But Coach Rick and his staff persuaded me, kept me at home.
There you go.
And the rest is history.
I'm sure Coach Rick's background and your father probably clicked pretty good.
It did, no question. Once they met together, it was a done deal.
Quick break, coming right back. More with Thomas Brown, Chattanooga Mocs running backs coach, and your phone calls, 267-1023, are very much welcome. Look at your weather forecast from Storm Track 9's Jason Dishroom. It's brought to you by DiStefano Eye Center. Are you still thinking about having LASIK? What are you waiting for? Millions have done it. Call DiStefano Eye Center today for a free LASIK evaluation and enjoy your summer and be able to see. That's nice. Call 648-3937, 648-3937. Today, it's Dr. Deborah DiStefano. Tonight, partly cloudy, passing showers possible really throughout the weekend. Overnight lows tonight in the upper 50s, highs tomorrow in the upper 70s. That's from Storm Track 9's Jason Dishroom. The Talk Monster, 102.3 roars on. A little NASCAR talk coming up at 6 with Ken Meredith in our Truck and Trailers USA Racing Hour. It's Sport Talk on the Talk Monster. .553 Sport Talk, WGW, Doc, Quake, Cowboy, Joe, and Thomas Brown. He's our special guest, former Georgia Bulldog, current Chattanooga Mocs running backs coach. And
he's welcome in here anytime because
exactly.
I love it.
First of all, he stood behind me on my uniforms point.
Joe's been taking a beating for that for years.
And second of all, he mentioned Florida State as a good note. So, you're welcome in here.
So
anytime,
you just bought your Mocs season tickets, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I'd be happy to be back anytime.
Oh, we'll call you a bunch, too, guarantee you. 267-1023, and we've got Keith that's been on hold. Welcome to the Talk Monster and Sport Talk, Keith.
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Well, I got a quick question. It's for all of y'all, but especially for Coach Brown. My buddies and I go over this every year, and since you've been a part of it and been around him, I want to get your opinion. It seems like every year, usually at the beginning of the year, we have some guys that don't toe the line just right and get suspended for a few games. And, every situation is different. I understand that. But, look at Spurrier where he built everything around Garcia. Garcia screwed up. He kicked him off the team.
Right.
Is it a thing with Coach Richt? And don't get me wrong, I love the man. I think he's a great coach, and I'd never call for his head like people were when we lost a few games a couple years ago. But is that a thing with his coaching philosophy and the way he works, or is that is it just a situation by situation?
I think it just has to do with guys making bad decisions. You have young guys who are 17, 18, 19. Who are just getting out on their own, having trouble dealing with freedom, not being up under their parents' restraints, and also you just never understand, how certain guys were raised. Some guys just weren't raised with the best of morals, and being in Athens, which I love Athens, but
you're big man on campus,
right?
Oh yeah, I spent 5 years there. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Don't you think, Thomas?
You get a lot of attention.
You got to try to save a young man.
You do.
You got to try to do it.
And I'll be honest, Coach Rick does everything he can to try to save a kid. He gives you every opportunity to do right. But obviously, at some point with certain people, you got to kick them out. Sometimes that's the best thing for guys to kick him out the door, make him fall flat on his face, and get up and learn from his mistakes. But I think it just has to do with guys just making bad decisions. Being in Athens with 127 bars downtown, there's nothing else to do in Athens. You're a young kid. You're gonna drink sometimes and get in some altercation. Also, being so close to Atlanta, guys going to Atlanta. We know Atlanta is a very vibrant city, and things happen down there. So guys have to make better decisions. That's all.
Right. Well, good luck with the season. I appreciate your info. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to move to Florida and hear nothing but Gators this football season.
Well, just hold strong down there for me.
Y'all take it easy now.
All right, thanks.
Keith, thank you.
Yeah, it's not like Coach Rick just changed his coaching style or changed the way he dealt with his young men. It's like you're saying, man, some guys just don't get it. They just don't get it.
So do you think he should be tougher, more lenient, or is he doing about right?
I think he's doing a fine job. I think sometimes you have guys, like I said, on the team who are going to make bad decisions. Some of those guys are your best players on the team, and I think Bobby Bowden said, one time, I don't kick my best players off the team. I try to give them every opportunity to play. If that was the case, he would just be left with
bunch of walk-ons.
Right. Guys are going to make bad, and I'm not saying that every guy that's a good player makes bad decisions and gets in trouble, because Lord knows I did. I made plenty of bad decisions. I was just lucky to get out of them sometimes. Thank God for that. But guys make bad decisions. They're young. They got to grow, mature, and learn from those mistakes. And I think he does a great job.
And these problems that all these SEC coaches have about being on the hot seat, that's all about Alabama and LSU.
Right.
They've set that bar up there, and fans are restless. They want to be where those two teams are. It's hard.
It's a tough league.
Hard.
If you're one of those top 5-6 teams in the SEC, and you don't win 10, 11 games a year, plus go to a championship game, people are going to ask for you to be fired. And even last year, I'm looking at Coach Rick's record. I think he has the fourth best record of any active coach in college football in the last 10 years. Who are you going to hire?
Right. We've always said that.
You fire him.
Don't fire him until you know that there's somebody better.
Right. And even with, like Florida, I think Will Muschamp is going to be a great coach. But you bring him in, and, who knows what's going to happen. You might bring in another coach, and he wins 6 games. And you're going to be asking for his head. if he doesn't come out and win 10 games this year, they're going to be asking to fire him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a competitive league, and obviously I'm biased because I went there. I went to an SEC school, but I think they have the best players in the world and the best conference by far. So, I mean, it's very competitive. If you don't win championships, they're going to ask for you to be out.
Well, we're biased, too, and we didn't even go there.
And you got to be very, very careful. I mean, a lot of people agreed with Fulmer getting the axe, but be careful
look
when
where
it
they
happens.
are. Look where they've been since then.
Because you never know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
There are no guarantees. You can say, okay, there's a hot D coordinator somewhere else. I'm going to go hire this guy, but he's never been a head coach before. You don't know what he's going to bring to you.
Well, look what happened in Arkansas.
That's true. You don't know.
You know when something crazy like that happens?
Right.
Thomas, thank you, man.
Glad
it's been
to be
a
here. I
pleasure.
appreciate it.
It very much. A look at your Storm Track 9 Jason Disroon forecast. Again, brought to you by Tom's 4x4 Superstore. They've expanded into the area's most advanced diesel repair shop. They can save you thousands on diesel repair. Don't go anywhere else. 702-5777 or online at toms4x4superstore.com. Partly cloudy with passing showers possible really throughout the weekend. Overnight lows, upper 50s tonight, high tomorrow in the upper 70s. Sport Talk returns. Ken Meredith with our Truck and Trailers USA Racing Hour.
He better bring something.
He's got it all. You seen that car he's got out there he just bought?
That piece of junk.
Yeah, you need to go look at it. You'll be wanting it. You'll be wanting it.
A Belvedere.
The doctor's not impressed.
A Belvedere.
Oh, it's going to be nice.
Is it a four-door sedan?
It's going to be
we
nice.
ain't driving no sedan, man.
It's not a smart car like the doctor likes.
I got a coupe.
A Leaf.
I got a coupe.
A coupe. Yeah. 32 coupe or something. Sport Talk returns. WGOW-FM, Saudi Daisy, Chattanooga.